Buddy, welcome to the stream.
Good to be here again.
Thanks. Yeah, nice to be here.
We've got a bit of stuff this week which we'll cover off, which we'll chat in just on pre-show. I actually was a little bit of housekeeping. After James joined and actually mentioned that he'd been watching in the distance, I got a little bit curious about, I wonder like who else might be actually watching the vibe check. And because we did find out that organizers of the Web3 Summit had been watching us, which I thought was cool. But we actually have hit some pretty decent numbers over the last little bit, like several hundred people watching each vibe checks, which I think is pretty cool. Like when you think about how much on-chain activity is happening right now and some of the metrics. So yeah, the vibe check is becoming a thing. So if you haven't jumped on, share these clips around and let's see if we can like bring back the numbers, because I know there's Polkadot people out there that have their heads down doing things. So this is the show for everybody. This is not like, we don't want this to be a me thing. Like let's have as many people who want to come and take over and share the vibes. And it'd be kind of cool. We just wanted this to be the rallying cry. But let's kick off this week. There's been a bit of stuff happening on chain, which I think is kind of interesting to show that there's actually a bit of stuff happening. Where should we start here? Let's start with all of our games and our stuff that people are building here. So I'll share screen. So I don't know, James, if you know much about, you've been playing around with this one. This is the grid miner game.
I only learned of it a couple days ago. I played one brief game this morning just to check it out. I'm always interested in watching what the Wood community is doing, and it seems like this was a new game. And then related, there's a new meme coin also in the Wood universe, and so just wanted to make people aware of it. Maybe people know more about it than I do. I'm just checking it out for the first time.
Super curious. This might be a stupid question, but where is this meme token traded? Like, where is that happening? Or is it just on Launchly?
Just on Launchly that I'm aware of.
Okay,
but
so
I don't even know
like
that much about Launchly. Launchly seems to be
Neither do I.
Solana, but they added Polkadot recently, and so a couple things are coming on
Woodbeer
from. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Solana based, is it?
Of the Wood community, so I don't know that much about it.
Well, this is okay. So I see it's on heaps of chains. So it's on Dot and Robinhood, Base, BNB, and Solana. So these are all of the test. Dot is dead is here. Dot cat. Okay, we got a bit of stuff going on here. Interesting. Maybe we should like start playing around here. Maybe we can have like the meme trading competition or something like that. Like, because obviously if these are like, would be at like 6.8K trading volume, or it's market cap. Okay, my mistake. 36 holders. All right, shout out to you guys because that's solid. Interesting. Okay, there's a bit of stuff happening here. I thought another one that I thought was really interesting is here the White Rabbit this week. So doing like I'm sure what nobody else does is tweeting at Elon, letting him know that he's built an on-chain version of Twitter. This is not going to load because, you know, the internet doesn't exist in the east of the planet. We'll see if this quickly does. But yeah, effectively, he's tried to build like an on-chain like Twitter clone. And here we go. And you can chirp. So you can chirp instead of tweet. I thought this is pretty cool that he's built it. He's got it on testnet going. Has anyone played around on this yet?
No, not yet. I saw some screenshots from people talking to each other, but yeah.
We've got it loaded. Is this like Sota? No. That's not Astar Sota.
I think so.
Is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't think.
Okay. Do you like Giotto polling test? We love Giotto. What's going on here? Interesting. All right. Well, anyway,
I haven't tested it out by what I really want to. I think it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm going to get involved in this. I think this is kind of cool. So, have a play around, everybody. If you want to go, you just go to the White Rabbit's X account, and you can actually probably find the link. Chirponchain.dev/dot Polkadot.ly. But
it would be really cool if he added personhood requirements to it. So you had to have a certain level of like personhood requirements, whatever, to like post or be verified or whatever, to stop like alt accounts. I also hope the Polkadot forum adds that functionality as well at some point. So it could be quite a good experiment, because I think even X's like main engineer guy was on about similar things that they need to try and figure out how to stop like spam and bot accounts. So.
Well, if anyone's got a direct line to the White Rabbit, like let him know that he can come and have a shill on the vibe check if he wants to, because that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, so super interesting stuff being built in the ecosystem. We wanted to also give a direct shout out to Hydration, because they have had a big one this week. Maybe Lima, you can probably fill us in here.
Yes, so with Moonbeam leaving the ecosystem, that put a real issue on Wormhole, which is a centralized bridge provider. It's one of the biggest ones. So Hydration uses Wormhole for certain assets like Sol and stuff like that. And it was a bit of a panic, because if Moonbeam shut down, then users' assets could have been trapped. But the Hydration team managed to talk to the Wormhole team and basically swap that integration over. So nobody lost funds, nobody needed to move anything. I think McShiz and Jakob Gregis on Twitter give a bit of color. Yeah, you have Ben's one open. Seems like it was not, they were not informed ahead of time that this was happening. So
by tweet, I think is what Lol McShiz says. Yeah, Lol McShiz says by tweet they found out.
Yeah, so I think it was a lot of sleepless nights trying to get this all done, to not, mess up any user funds, but they managed to do it. Bullish Hydration, bullish the Hydration team. Let's go, the boys.
Yeah, this was Jakob's take. Some chads. Hydration teams are, I'll read it because it's a bit small, but hydration teams are such chads you didn't have to do anything while we had less than a month to figure out everything, maybe because people were working day and night while angry kids and wives were knocking on doors because it was effing July. And on top of it, you got an absolute killer RWA vault, which you shall find in our strategy page in comment. So yeah, shout out to the boys who got that done, boys and girls. That's pretty awesome. And I mean, what it does is it makes hydration a much more powerful product. The fact that they've got now the direct line, like to everywhere that Wormhole goes. So yeah, super interesting about how that helps out the ecosystem and where that goes, but super interesting.
It's better for users of hydration as well, because previously when you were bridging stuff from the Polkadot ecosystem to like ETH or Solana or whatever with Wormhole, you had to have like Glimmer tokens and stuff. I think they did abstract that away, so it was easy, but for a time it was a bit of a pain, and now you don't need to worry about having like Glimmer and stuff like that. So it's actually a UX upgrade, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, very cool. All right. We'll throw over here to Flipchan. If you're there, Flipchan, you maybe want to give us a shout out about some of the stuff that you've got going, and then we're going to go through Florentina, and then we've got an Excavate announcement as well. But yeah, Flipchan, fire away, man. Let us know what you've been up to here. I can share screen and show this video.
Yeah, share this cool video. And actually, in the end of it, there is a short 8-bit soundtrack that was donated by Far Cry, which is a Commodore 64 cracking group from the 80s that's still making cool 8-bit demos. But yeah, so basically what has happened is the Summer Shield project has been going on pretty good. And we have advanced a lot, especially in like the zero knowledge stuff. And we have basically abstracted a shitload of things for the users. So here you see our new nice interface. And what I did here was I opened Electrum, which is a popular Bitcoin wallet. And I want to send basically Polkadot to a new Bitcoin wallet. And then thanks to our new private send feature, I can basically just generate a Web3 wallet and then fund it. So it makes interacting with the shielded pool and also with swaps really, really efficient. So if you want to like, there's for example this awesome group called Denial of Secrets. They're like the new WikiLeaks, and if you want to donate with to them, but they only accept Bitcoin and Ethereum, you can do so via this. But basically, using this. Oh yeah, here's the music. The cracking group that the music comes from is pretty cool. With the scrolling text as well. But yeah, this is basically private transfers for DOT, and it's super cheap right now. It's cost 0.0156 dot in so like 1 cent of a dot in transaction fees right now. So it's really cheap. It works great, and I've been using it this week to pay various bills of mine as well. So if you have some bills to pay in another, or want to send someone without like doxing your address and stuff like that, you should definitely use this. It's pretty cool, and yeah, this new UI as well. It's a bit improvement, so that's really fun to see as well. And something the user don't notice is now when they make the withdraw transaction, it takes like 4.5 seconds instead of 43 seconds to generate the proof. So it's much more efficient as well. So that's pretty dope. This you guys should everyone should check out and use it. It's shield.markets as well, but also there's new SDKs. So there's 2 new SDKs for Kusama Shield that's working right now. There's also LLM documentation, so you can, like, if you're playing around with coding agents, you can just point it at the docs and be like, hey, build something cool with this. So it's really moving along quite nicely. It's really cool feature. Shield.markets, yeah, that should yeah, summarize it as well. And also there's a new, I posted a new Multics instance, because Multics is a tool developed by this ecosystem guy, French ecosystem guy, and then it broke because of no one was maintaining it, and then one dude was maintaining it, and then I got a bit annoyed because I thought there's another multi-sig UI for Polkadot, but it's a bit annoying to use. So this weekend I got Multics to work. It's pretty nice, and updated it as well. And it also auto syncs now, so you can just connect and it auto detects all your multi-sigs. Makes it pretty easy to use as well. So I brought new life into this.
Super cool.
Which is
I don't have a wallet attached here, sorry. Otherwise I would connect on this browser. But yeah, sorry, cut you off.
No, it's really useful tool. I've been using it for several years. It's multics.shield.markets. It's pretty useful as well. Yeah. And yeah, and then also shield.markets, private dot transfers, very cheap right now. And we have new SDKs as well. So there's a lot of things to play around with Kusama Shield. Pretty nice.
Flipchat, what would the SDK before? Are you wanting people to build like implementations or integrations with like Kusama Shield?
Yeah, it's basically for interacting with the shielded pool. So like now we built this privacy infrastructure, or this privacy protocol, which is a shielded pool. So now everyone can basically interact with it. So if you want to build an app, it could be anything that accepts any type of token on Polkadot, Kusama, or Paseo Asset Hub. You can basically use this SDK to get private transfers for your tokens. Basically, it's pretty easy to use, and yeah, you can build the stuff on top of it right now. I know actually there's some people that have been DMing me, and there are actually some products being built with there are people playing around with the SDK right now and integrating it to their test products on Paseo, which is pretty dope.
Very cool. Very, very cool. I have used Multics for ages. and it was kind of spewing that it closed down. Because what was the other big one the other big multi-sig platform that also shut down? I'm having a mental blank right now. Mimir. Yeah, Mimir also.
Oh yeah.
That was really annoying, like, because they both kind of went down at the same time, and then like the Talisman Signet thing was not working either, and so it was like, man, it's like Polkadot.js or bust, pretty much. So, and I'm sure, like, if you're very technical, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to, like, share this with people, make content like what I was,
a pain in the ass. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to do Polkadot.js with multisigs, because you get all this like extra data you have to give to other people. And then if you like refresh your browser, you lose all your accounts. So sometimes if you press the wrong key combination when you're entering a multisig transaction, you have to like add all the accounts again. This also gets like saved with multics, so it's much better. But yeah, it's a real pain in the ass to fiddle around with Polkadot.js with multisigs. So it's nice to have this tool.
Very cool. Very glad it's back. So good for you for doing that. Yeah, like much needed. I think much needed in the eco. Good stuff, man. Thank you for what you're doing. Florentina, we got a couple of articles that you sent me this week. Should we just flick through these real quick and just have a look here, like from like what Parity is sharing? I think this was you that shared this with
me. Yes. So this one is about proof of personhood, basically. So it's a long article, but I think it's very interesting if people want to read it, because it's talking about the whole problematic that we have right now on the internet of like how much of the traffic is basically generated by bots. And that's not necessarily a problem, right? So the question is like, for what situations do we want to distinguish whether this is like there is a person behind it or not? For civil attacks, for example, then for personhood is important, and so on. And then the question of how it will be used in the Polkadot app whenever this is launched. So that was interesting. And then the other one I think is more general. This one, yes. And this is something that I had talked about before when we talked about Web3 Summit. And I think at one point I said, I think most people missed the main message, because people were still waiting for this supposed Polkadot app. Everyone is like, we've been waiting for the Polkadot app for a really, really long time. But the Polkadot app itself is not the point, right? The point of what Party has been building all these months in silence and has now been revealed and is now usable with the DevNet, for example, is basically the stack and all of the building blocks. And this is the first time that I see it visually easy for anyone, even if you are a developer or not, to see like what it is that is available now and why it's so useful. And the result is what we just saw before when you were presenting the Twitter version from the White Rabbit, for example, or many of the other apps that have been published to the DevNet in the last couple of weeks. Since they released it, basically. And it's that many of the apps that have been posted are not built by developers, are built by people from the ecosystem just using their Claude or whatever AI that they are using. And this is doable because this is all very modular, and all of the things that to build an app you would need to basically build yourself, like they are already there and everybody can reuse them. And here they are, like there's the SDK, there's a decentralized storage, then you have the domains where you register to, so like the .li, so that it can resolve and you can actually see the app deployed. And you use your personhood to get access to this username as well. And these are just like simple things, but what it really is resulting is that anyone can build an app or deploy an app that is basically uncensorable and that is all behind a decentralized stack. So it's like what I guess we've heard, for example, Erin from Parity or Birdo many times say, like, we're building the new internet. And literally, like, this is like the building blocks and the basis for a new internet, for something completely different and truly Web3. So it's super exciting to me to see it like laid out like this in a visual post.
Love it. Yeah, I agree. Like we talked about this as well, like about how we're probably moving past the blockchain based sort of like hype cycle now, and it's now like the new internet. So very cool. Thank you for sharing those. James, you've thrown up a bit of a curveball here as well. Let me just bring it up. But there's been a little bit of like pushback here for dot projects.
Yep. So for anybody who uses Codeberg, it's a place to store your Git repos. They have actively moved away from crypto projects. And so I know there are several projects in the dot community that was using Codeberg that are now actively moving away. And if anybody wasn't aware of it, it's just a kind of a PSA to make sure you're aware of it. And if you are doing anything with Codeberg, you may want to look for other options at this point.
This is also covering like cryptography research, and it's like very, very broad how they define this thing, which is kind of weird because Codeberg is this like open source guys grassroots organization that's always been pro freedom of speech and pro open source software. So it's a bit strange. I understand the underlying meaning is to like remove spam and remove like some shady crypto projects, but like the collateral damage is pretty big because it's affecting like almost all cryptography projects right now. So yeah, definitely move away from that. Because Summer Shield project, we moved the same day they announced this. So
yeah, this was really sad news. I always saw Codeberg as like, you know, like synonymous with really like freedom and all of this. And yeah, I mean, you see all of the projects have started to move away, look for alternatives, you know, use Radical or use other places to mirror your repos. But I think one of the reasons is, and it's really sad to me if it is just that they don't have the bandwidth to deal with the consequences of like potentially having some scam projects. And as we know, like there are many scam projects related to cryptocurrency, but that doesn't mean all of them are. And there are so many valuable and very interesting projects that were on Codeberg and now, sadly, well, moving away to other alternatives.
it is really easy for users that because Codeberg runs this software called Forge, and it's really easy to just spin up your own instance of it, and you just basically paste in your Codeberg repo URL, and it just clones it automatically. So it's really easy to like spin up your own Forge FORGE instance of it. You can do it with like a $5 a month VPS or server or something like that. And there's a lot of grassroots good alternatives as well.
Interesting. Yeah, thanks for sharing that one, James. Probably not a lot of people who are aware. Also, we got a bit of a correction because last week I talked a little bit about some of the projects that were still coming and to deploy some stuff inside the .eco, and that there was still some stuff coming. I mentioned that Excavate was one of them. Not the case. So they've announced this week that they are building some stuff on Solana. Anyone know anything about that?
I don't have a ton of details. I haven't spoken to Richard myself. Richard and I we were both in the PBA cohort together in Berkeley. So I've known Richard for a long time. And I've been beta testing his apps with a group of other people for quite some time now. But then this announcement came out. And I think it's, well, I don't know. I don't want to presume anything. I just know some people have had a challenging time getting support within the Polkadot ecosystem recently. And so that's why some projects might be looking elsewhere. But yeah, it looks like they're working on building for Solana now.
Do you know if that means that they're not running?
Didn't Excavate raise 3 million like a year ago to keep their parachain running?
Yeah,
I heard they had like a 3 million raise a year ago or something.
I would be surprised if it was that big, if it was that number, because I know I was in a lot of the same sort of like VC conversations that they were in. So I would be surprised if the number was that large. But who knows? Maybe. Yeah, Richard, do you know if they're still running a chain at all, or if they're just deploying dApps directly on like a monolithic chain now? Any idea at all, James?
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, good luck to them. Like, I know it's like a tricky one, like you said. Like, there was a little bit of like uncertainty at the start of the year about like what sort of a role parachains would play, like in the new paradigm. And like, you know, I got caught up in that. Like, we didn't end up launching a parachain, but are actively about to launch a whole bunch of applications directly just to Polkadot itself. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I know that there's still some other teams as well who are still building, but like there was the conversation, not necessarily around like leaving Polkadot, but just like, do you actually need a parachain anymore if you can now just build directly on Polkadot Hub? Yeah, so it's a complicated conversation to have, and like you said, I know Richard quite well as well. Like we've crossed paths quite a bit. And we would compare notes a lot at Mandala, like Mandala and Excavate. We're all like in the same sort of boat, like trying to raise and launch all at the same time. And yeah, it was like everyone was having that same sort of conversation. Like, what unique selling point does running a parachain have versus just deploying your application directly to the actual the actual main chain itself? I guess if you're like probably a bit more like technical and have a bit more like unique use case, you probably need to, but yeah, interesting. All right, moving on. We'll go back to Florentina. You've got another one here. I think we mentioned this. Did we talk about this last week or no?
I don't know. I was not here last week. I don't know if you talked about it, maybe. But
I think it came after the show.
Came out after the show, yeah.
To Pierre leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting note. I mean, the main message seems to get lost for me with the announcement that Pierre is moving on. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any information as to where Pierre is going or what happened or anything. But the main message of the post doesn't seem to be this one, but rather just to say, like, to all these people that are all the time on Twitter, for example, saying like, where is Gavin Wood? Why is Gavin Wood not talking to the people and so on? And it's basically saying like, here, I'm here to deliver something and we're just working on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys think.
No, I noticed that as well. He's like, he's trying to convey the message like, okay, there's a change here, but this is what I'm also doing. I'm sure it's frustrating. I'm sure it can get frustrating for someone in his position where you're really excited about the stuff that you're building and you think you've got awesome stuff, but there's just so much noise. And the noise is not coming from a place of like interest that is shared as yours in building cool stuff. It's more like price-based. Like, how's my investment going? It's all Lino's fault. Yeah.
Yeah, totally unrelated.
Cool. Wow, that was a pretty jam-packed little half an hour session right there. Any last points from anybody else before we kick off? Shows that vibes are high. There's a bit of stuff going on. Like, that's not a 29-minute session from a dead ecosystem. That's a 29-minute session from people who are still building and still care. So, any closing words from anybody else, or last shout-outs or news or updates? Nope. Okay.
Use Kusama Shield. Use the latest version of Kusama Shield. Check it out. Find bugs and report the bugs because we want to make better software. And,
do you know what I'm going to do for next week, Flipchan? What I'm going to do, without your permission, I'm going to have Kusama Shield as an official sponsor of the Vibe Check. Without actual sponsorship, but we're just going to have it. We're just going to have it promoted.
Sponsor Good Moons.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining our vibe check. Thanks for everyone coming and being on the panel and being a part of us. Like, the ecosystem is so much more fun when we're all here together doing stuff, and instead of being in forums like yelling at each other. So if you're listening and you want to come and be a part of it, you're more than welcome. Flick us a DM. We'll send you the link. You can come join the panel, talk about whatever you want from the ecosystem. And if not, follow us along, and we'll see everybody here next week.